Pete Buttigieg is the 19th Secretary of Transportation. He tweets at Secretary Pete, joining me from, I believe, Louisville, Kentucky. Mr. Secretary.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Excellent.
In the office in D.C.
Oh, back in the office. Back in the office. All right. Good to know. It's wonderful to have you. And so, we've had a chance to sort of peruse the Republican budget proposals, and I wonder what will they mean for your department and particularly aviation safety?
Well, nothing good. This is the wrong time to be cutting aviation safety. I can't think of a good time to be cutting aviation safety, but certainly right now, the idea that you would implement cuts that would dial back hiring or freeze hiring in air traffic control is just completely upside down. Right now we have an aviation system that is roaring back in terms of demand, a lot of pressure on the system. We are racing to keep up with that in terms of having the right personnel. And when you don't have enough staffing, that can actually contribute to delays and cancellations. So really am perplexed that they would continue talking about approaches that would lead to a freeze or even the closure of air traffic control towers. Similarly, on the railroad side, I think this year the country is rightly paying a lot more attention to railroad accidents, derailments, and other issues. These kinds of budget cuts would threaten to cut railroad safety inspections at the very moment when there's a lot of interest, I would add bipartisan interest, in strengthening, not weakening, our railroad safety inspection system. So, we believe that we need to fully fund these. The president's budget would do just that. And I just don't see how these extreme proposals are going to fly in a country that's expecting our transportation systems to rise to meet this moment.
But it's such a conundrum, isn't it? Cutting spending always sounds like such a good idea until you get into the details. And I don't know, I would rather fly with an operational air traffic control tower. Just my preference.
Yeah, I'd like to think that's not a controversial idea. I know it sounds good, cut this, cut that, but stop and look at what that actually means. We're not doing any of these things just for the hell of it. Every program that we run in this department, whether it's eliminating railroad crossings or supporting the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy or keeping an air traffic control tower up and running, it's there for a reason, and a lot of thought goes into our budget proposals. Of course, they're debatable. Of course, you could draw the line in a different way, but let's do that in a mature fashion. Not with this kind of brinksmanship going on. The idea that the MAGA Republicans would threaten to basically shut down our economy, take us off the cliff of the default rather than get our way, that's not part of the normal push-pull of budget negotiations or budget politics. It's something that really unnecessarily puts a lot of stress on our economy, and I think it is rightly being criticized, not just by Democrats, but by anybody who wants to see us do what America always does, which is pay its bills and have an adult debate about how to be fiscally sustainable for the future.
Mr. Secretary, very recently we saw Southwest Airlines forced to ground their entire fleet for issues, and I wonder what those issues were and have they been addressed?
Well, when we saw that this was happening, I contacted Southwest leadership, emphasized to them that the most important thing that they needed to do was take care of any passengers who got stuck. Fortunately for them, they were able to address this issue fairly quickly. It was nowhere near the kind of impact that happened when their system melted down after the bomb cyclone around Christmas late last year. We are still investigating that situation to make sure that every passenger who was entitled to reimbursements or refunds got taken care of, and look at some other issues with Southwest Airlines. We're expecting more information from them on this situation too, but it appears that they were able to contain this one much more quickly.
Question from a listener, if you will, on Twitter. EJ Bolt wonders, ask Secretary Pete what the most innovative / advanced infrastructure project is, anything world-leading / cutting edge, and build back better. Not to put you on the spot.
Well, we actually, we just funded a series of innovations through a new program, part of the infrastructure bill called SMART, and it's to help communities trying to do new things, including things that would benefit safety. This may not sound as sizzling or glamorous as what's going on with flying cars or hoverboards, but there are steps that can be taken to make work sites safer with newer technology. With construction season starting up, you see those folks working out in safety vests among the barrels and the cones on the highways. Keep keeping them safe is a high priority. I always tend towards some of the maybe less glamorous things, but really meaningful ones. Another I'd point to is we're funding a lot of research on more sustainable paving materials. I know probably not a lot of people leap out of bed excited to hear about
I don't know.
concrete, but my background is having been a mayor and having to fill literally thousands and thousands of potholes. The idea of creating pavement that would last just a little bit longer in terms of taxpayer savings and just a better ride or a better commute as you're going to work, that stuff adds up. It's a big deal. And to me, that's just as exciting as the things that are going on in terms of advanced aviation, which, by the way, is also pretty exciting.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, as always, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Great being with you.
Great to talk to you.